How's it going, folks? Welcome back to the channel. Today we got Space Engineers. This is a game that I've really enjoyed playing over the past couple years, and I just recently got way back into it because of the Automatons update that they've released. And yeah. So don't worry, this sign is not for you at the moment because you are with a certified engineer at the moment. And it's me, I'm the certified engineer, I hope. Gosh, I hope they didn't revoke my license. But anyway. We've officially worked 0 days without a Clang incident. I blame Bridget. It's all Bridget's fault. Yeah, you heard me, Bridget. This is Bridget, by the way. Fun little flying drone. So what's really neat with the Automatons update is these little blocks right here are sort of pre-programmed AI controllers. Now, what that means is probably... Let me just show you. So of course I can take Bridget off the charger, which is ideal in most situations, especially for Bridget. Now, yeah, here's the fun part. Turn on AI. Alright, Bridget, you know what to do. And Bridget will follow me. Staying pretty close, I mean, you know. That's the only thing I've really figured out how to do at the moment, so I just think it's neat to have a little AI companion that follows you around, stays within proximity. And I do have collision avoidance for it turned on. So even if I were to, like, let's just say I'm gonna run headfirst into my building, watch this. Bridget will identify that there are objects in the area and stay roughly outside of that area. Pretty neat. I like it. And then, you know, all things considered, comes back. And yes, I've attached those giant blue panels as wings. Bridget. Alright, so now we just want to turn off the AI controls and put her back on the charger. Because, don't want her running dead on me. She doesn't know how to return to her own charger, which I'm pretty sure I can figure that out later. This time. And this is my facility. It's taken me about, I'd say roughly a week to build all this. So we got Excavator Pie over here, a little reference to anyone that absolutely loathed that one part of Moon, zombies. And over there's my big project for a spacefaring vessel. Should be something soon. Over here, next to where we started, authorized personnel, this is my habitat. I call it a habitat, but it's actually more like a house, you know. Got your bed on a loft sort of deal. Got a table, little kitchen, bathroom, you know, TV, couch, balcony with weird submarine door. I'll take what I can get. Oh, just look at that sunrise. Best view in the whole game, I guess. Well, probably not, but you know. Oh, and I can control the lights with that switch. Power efficiency is always very good. Then over here, through the refinery and the assembler, if you come over here, we have my hangar, which is this is where I've stored my little speeder bike. I just whistled. I'm sure future me can edit that out. Anyway. This is where I store the speeder bike. It doesn't hold very much but what it can haul is a little bit more than double what I can carry. So I'll take what I can get. And the cool thing is I've wired all this up to do little things like this. It's so cool. I love it. Oh, it's neat. It's very neat. I guess I ought to show you what the speeder bike's capable of too. So let's get all this turned on. It's not really a speeder bike. I guess it's more of a pack rat speeder bike. And yes, as you can probably tell by the massive hole in the ground there, the first iteration of the speeder bike did crash, but this little joker's fast. I don't remember if I have any upwards thrust on it, so I really don't need to turn it upside down, like for any reason. So that's kind of the whole big thing with that. And then over there, I'm sure you're seeing that already. I'm wondering, what the heck is that? I call it the tank. Well, if I can hook this back up. Come on. There we go. Plug that back up. Go outside here and we'll just close the hangar doors. That'll work. But I call this the tank. It looks like it's supposed to be able to go on any terrain, but I'm sort of afraid to use it because at the moment, it's currently pretty quick. At least quicker than I would like. There's no gradual speed up. It's just instant. Plus, the battery's almost, you know, dead, given I can't charge it necessarily. Yeah. But, I'm thinking about trying to fix that. Which I could probably do right now, actually. So let's go over here and, grab some... Let's just make 2 steel plates for the moment. So what we're gonna do is in our inventory, or our build list, build planner here, whatever it's called, you know what I mean. I'm sure you know what I mean. We're gonna grab our connector. Now connectors are neat because they allow for a whole host of ship types and such to be connected to buildings. Say that's about level with it. Let's make it. I like the idea of it being like that. Alright, so now let's run over here and connect this to that. Get our preliminary little welding in. And recharge our suit. I didn't do the thing. So one of the important things in Space Engineers is you have this thing over here called a build planner, and you can basically walk up to an item with your welder out, and if you right click on it, it'll add whatever's left in it to the build planner. So then you want to run over here, and as you can see, they are in my build planner. That's pretty cool. Then you run over here to your assembler, and you hit this button with the gear, this square box with the gear, not the toolbox, but the square box. Then you do that, and then it'll start building everything you needed for it. And I think that's kind of cool. Everything's a little off at this base. I mean, you can tell where I started with the grays and where I've started going with the whites, but gray and white, it doesn't clash too bad, I hope. By the way, fun fact about all my recordings, all of these are in one take, so, a little behind the scenes info for you, I reckon. Oh, and yes, I wanted to show you, the TV, it changes. Well, you know, obviously the image on the television changes, but I had to go in and sort of rig it to do that. And sure, some of these images are just the same image, but wider, and more compressed. Eh. I'll take what I can get. Space travel. The power of jump drive. You know, I have never used the jump drive, ever. I like how it casts a glow. Let's see. No, that's kind of the glow, isn't it? It's not like the sun. It might be the sun. Cosmic coffee. Yeah, that's actually the glow of the television. Neat. Time is precious. Let our drones help you with life's boring tasks. I love it. It's neat. Alright, so we grabbed our components to build the charging dock for the tank here. We got that turned on. So let's build up the charging dock connector here. I'm not sure if you can hear that, but that is pretty loud on my end. Alright. Now let's see. Goodness gracious. Switch lock. Alright, so now we have that set up to where we can switch the lock. Let's see if we can just ride up next to it. Oh. Oh. That'll work. Alright. I just gotta be a little careful about how I go about that. So let me head to the control panel and rig the batteries into a group. Tank batteries. Save. Yeah, I think we got everything there. Okay. So now we want to go to groups, and the tank batteries we want to recharge on and off. Now we take our parking brake off, and cool. And now all the batteries are recharging. You can tell they're recharging by the yellow light inside of it. So we'll let those recharge. And we're gonna go check out over here. This is more or less just the initial tour, I guess, of the facilities. And believe it or not, these shelves are almost kind of useless, because if you go to grind these away, you're not getting those power cells back. So all 20 of those power cells are completely gone and lost. But it's just a small sacrifice for decorations. And me personally, I kind of like the decorations. It's nice. And yes, the bed is one of those beds where it has to lock you down because space travel. Why not? And yes, you can sit on all the furniture, just basically. I figured y'all wanted to see maybe inside of everything a little bit better, how detailed it is. I mean, there's a little soap dispenser. Kinda neat. Exploration of space starts with you. Why do I have my headlamp on? I could just literally turn on my lights. Got little plants. Nice. And then there's even little plants underneath this. I don't even know what those are. But yeah, I've got a little storage container too for like personal items. Personal items. But you know, just in case. You never know when a rogue drone could come and attack. And I know Bridget isn't going to be any help. Isn't that right, Bridget? Anyway. Let's see what we can do. Let's think. Alright, so I'm thinking we're not going to work on that project anymore for a little bit. Well, I mean, I need to work on it, but at the same time, it's one of those that isn't a necessity at the moment. Also, I don't have a facility set up to farm for hydrogen, to fuel the hydrogen tank, that circular tank attached to it, which is a hydrogen tank. Used for, you know, hydrogen thrusters and such going into space, because atmospheric thrusters don't work when there's no atmosphere. Ion thrusters are expensive and require platinum, which you have to get in space or at a meteor crash site, which there aren't any meteor crash sites on this planet that I know of. So yeah, we're kind of in one of those situations. Oh, y'all want to see the drill run? It'd be kind of cool. Okay, let's turn her on. Ooh. Let's move that way. Okay. So now let's reverse piston one and have that travel downwards. There's just a giant hole in the ground there. You know, as you do. I started out digging this hole by hand. Like, once it, well, it's probably not going to do that. I have to hit the next piston, but... Okay. So as you can see over here, I did start digging it by hand. That's why there's a little cave system right there. And it started right over here where I filled in with concrete. And I say filled in with concrete, but it's actually just blocks that are riding off this staircase over here to make it look like it's filled with concrete. Not a bad setup by any means. I'm tempted to see. Let's go ahead and dig all the way down. Let's see how far it'll go. Like how deep this hole's actually gonna get. And yes, I am using the experimental mode, which is designed to allow for different things to happen. And this is one of those things where if you attach drills to the pistons, they will effectively start shaking and rattling. Which is, you know, not an ideal situation for most anybody, given that they can shake and rattle their way off of the machine. Like, there is this thing called a safety detach. But luckily, hopefully we might not have to use that. Now, let's turn on our headlamp and let's head down and see how deep this is. Honestly, pretty deep. But yeah, it's pretty deep. I'm thinking about, once I have it dug out all the way, I'm gonna just start building an underground sort of part of the facility. I'm not sure what it would be for. Maybe storing hydrogen or such, like storing fuels and all. But I'm not sure. Maybe it could be an R&D lab. It'd be kind of cool. So let's check and see how full is that large cargo. Oh my goodness. We got that 1/4 of the way full of stone. That's crazy to me. We do need to clean out the machines a little bit. I just dumped gravel over here because gravel is effectively, after a certain point, gravel turns useless to me. But it will come back later to where I'll need it. Because I think it's involved in the nuclear energy, once I find uranium and all. And then we'll probably need gravel to line things. Where's my refinery? Let's just go ahead and knock out all the gravel that's in it, because it's about to have a ton of gravel in it anyway. all that stone that it's processing is gonna be a huge amount of gravel. But yeah, that's the drill. I figured y'all would like that. But yeah, it's a nice little setup. We're in some sort of savanna, it looks like. Just a few trees, lots of tall grass. This is actually where I dropped in at. My initial, like, they call it a respawn pod. It dropped in right about over here somewhere, but I tore it to pieces and threw all the pieces into building this area. This was where it all started. It started with this. I tried to make a drill. There used to be like basic assemblers and stuff connected into this survival kit. And yeah, I've expanded a lot. And this is all in about a week's time, but that's because this is survival mode. And yeah, it takes a while to do anything in survival mode. Like, yesterday I was able to build Bridget, but that's just because I wanted to experiment with the automatons update. And so far I'm really liking that. I'm gonna have to figure out how to make it useful to me. Like, maybe I can have an army of drones patrolling the area and watching out, like covering me. Or maybe I can have some mining drones go out and just dig at something, and then have like a event block thing. If it gets a full container or something, come back, drop it off, and then go back out. That might be an idea. That's what I'm thinking. I run around and think a lot. It's sort of a habit. And power seems to be... we are dropping in power quite a bit. Not sure how we'd alleviate that issue, but... So, I guess with the time that we have here, let's try and build something. I think that's a pretty solid idea. Wow, that is actually a lot of gravel again. Yeah, this thing's just gonna keep filling up with gravel, and I hate that I'm having to just dump it all, but it's kind of the way it goes. Alright. So, in order to build something, I'm not sure what I want to build. Let's think. A mining ship would be useful. Like having something that could dig up things, I suppose. I mean, that would be nice to have, but I've never been good at building those, and they always end up being really terrible at the landing. Yeah. Let's think. Ow. That hurt. That hurt. Gotta go heal. You know what? Let's not do that. Let's go ahead and build a... I think it's called a medical room. Where are we? I know it's gotta be in one of these things. It's underneath cryo chambers. So, as cool as a cryo chamber is, it's not exactly going to be useful to me. This, however, the medical room, that's going to be where my bread and butter is. So what I'm wanting to do is we're going to need to sort of tear apart all of this first. Actually, you know what would probably be a good idea? Now, let's just... take this, add this to the build planner. Good. So now we just throw that in our build planner machine. Let me just take a bunch of gravel out of the machine right quick, because it's just going to keep filling up. And you know, that's a problem. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tear up this, but for a good reason. Okay, I'm probably not able to store things there, so let's head up to my room. And let's just store all of this stuff here. I didn't close it. Go ahead and recharge our suit one last time. Alright, good stuff. Okay. Pull that out. Okay. And we can easily fill all that in. Okay. Good, and then all that's left is the interior plates, but we also need to go and drop off the... Let's go drop off those parts that we don't need. Leave those in there. Get it to where it's at least functional. Good stuff. And that will recharge our suit a lot faster. Oh, we need 8. Oh, alright, cool. Alright, so now on top of that, we're gonna need our O2 H2 converter back. The generator. The O2 H2 generator. Need large steel tubes. Computer, I won't say those motors. Display? Computers. We already got those. Steel tubes. Yeah. Should be all good on that front. Close that up so it stays pressurized. Okay. So now we just want that to be connected in a way that connects a face of the conveyor system to the face of the medical room. Just like that. And it looks a little clunky, but it gives me access to the actual medical room itself, or the converter above. And now what we can do is we can just come over here plug in the ice, the oxygen bottle, and hydrogen bottle because I don't carry those around. And that recharges everything on me because it's connected to this ice and the converter. But it's also an independent system, so it's not trying to recharge anything else but me. You know, that's kind of what you want. Now, this is something neat. So check out this. This is the robot helmet. This is what you get with the Automatons DLC. It's the DLCs for this game are mostly cosmetics and like different style blocks, but they're going to be roughly the same thing as what you could already use in the base game. But the DLC stuff is almost, I want to say it's purely cosmetic, even though it's, you know, just simple things like this. There was not a robot suit, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, not really seeing anything else there. But if I were to wear this and like the assault stuff with it, it makes me look a little more like a robot. And I like that. So I think I'm gonna go with that. Yeah, that's kind of neat. But like the signs that I showed you earlier, they also came with this DLC. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the what else? Oh yeah, the plastic, which is the sort of texture I'm using on a lot of the blocks around here. In fact, my entire habitat module has the plastic texture all over it. This is it's this plastic armor. I think it's pretty neat. I like it. It gives it sort of that retro futuristic look, even though it's not like overbearing. It's not overbearing and chaotic like you'd think it would be. Sort of a simplistic look, which is I can get behind that. I can get behind that. And then this stuff came with the most requested update, which was actually not even a, I don't even think there was a DLC for that. This was just the corrugated armor, which is what you're looking at here, that creates the walls of my facility of the hangar bay. That was just, you know, given out to everyone for free. Sort of like with certain conveyor pipes as well, like the armored ones right here. I haven't finished that, but yeah, I'm embarrassed to say I haven't finished a lot of this, but you know, making do with the best with what I got. Yeah. Oh cool, the tank's ready. So we're gonna head out and see about grabbing some iron, I think. That was right. I think it was iron, yeah. We're gonna go with that anyway. Alright, let's see how it handles. Doesn't seem to be side heavy despite having that connector on it. And it's got a decent amount of battery life, even though it seems to be glitching out a little bit. Let's see where we're heading. Let's head towards... Let's head towards Iron and Gold 1. Yeah, I've sort of done a little exploring and marked a couple locations of where certain resources are, because eventually what I want to be able to do is I want to pinpoint exactly where like certain resources are and then build little mines on top of them, just little temporary mines that can pick up the resources, and then I can pick them up with like a vehicle, or maybe have drones pick them up and take them back to the base. Of course, this would require me to constantly be monitoring the mines, like when they're completely expended, and then adding more drills so that I turn them into stone mines. That way I constantly have a supply of stone and such being brought in. But then even at a certain point, that's gonna get labored for the drones to deal with, because they'll get weighed down, the drill might be stopped, and then the containers might be full. I don't know, it's just a huge system of if this then that, sort of like any sort of robotics planning. If this then that. And yeah, I like this thing. It goes pretty quick. I'm worried about how it's going to handle rougher terrains, because I've never done this configuration with the front wheel and back wheels being up slightly, so it's kind of got like a boat design, I guess. It's got the same kind of wheeling design as a boat or a tank, which is weird for me to say, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean when I say boat. It's got like angles up on both ends. We are almost here. There's not much left at this site, but I figure we'll just grab what we can and head on back. Yeah, there's not too much left in the way of resources, but mostly just stone, a lot less iron ore than what I was hoping for. But as you can see, we've been busy. You drop this in the containers, and this one I'm gonna have to unload by hand because that connector for charging it is not connected to the rest of the piping system. As in that connector would be only for charging the rover, or the tank rover, whatever you want to call it. Honestly, let me know in the comments what we should start naming this stuff, because I do want to name it. It's just I'm not very creative with names. So I'd love to know what you think I should start calling these vehicles. Like, you've seen me call the speeder bike the speeder bike. You've seen me call that the tank rover. And then the big project over there, I'm probably gonna have to give it an actual name, because it is going to be a flagship, I suppose. Heading out into space for the first time. So yeah, just I'd love to know what y'all think I should name this stuff. I'm sure whatever y'all can come up with will be a million times better than whatever I can come up with. Alright, let's take it back. Hey, it actually handles really well despite being completely loaded down. I like that. I can agree with this. This is probably one of my favorite vehicles now. I was scared to use it at first, but I think it's probably gonna make it pretty well. And with those wheels being able to like keep it upright, I guess a little bit longer than normal, if it starts tipping forwards or backwards, I mean, it might help. And it's not too top heavy, I don't think. I mean, it's a little top heavy when it's loaded down, because you just saw me start tilting there, but as far as when it's not loaded down, unladen, I figure that's pretty good. So I'll see y'all right back at the base. Alright, and we're back. So, thinking we just gotta put this thing on charge. Oh boy, let's see if we can actually do that. It's just a delicate game of going in and out of the detection area right there. Cool. Alright. Let's grab what we can and take it over to the main cargo area. Eventually I will be able to get everything back up. I'll connect it all up, that way it'll make it a lot easier for me, so that I'm not running back and forth like this all the time. But, yeah. I really do love this game, and I don't know if everyone else likes it the way that I do, the way that it's weird to explain. Like, I enjoy the complicated details of things, and I love talking about them. So, you know, if you are enjoying seeing this, let me know in the comment section what you think as well, along with, you know, any idea for for the names of these things. But in the meantime, I just want to say thank y'all for watching, and if you are enjoying Space Engineers, you know, drop a like on the video. Feel free to subscribe if you want to see more of this, and I'd love to keep doing this for y'all, to show y'all what I can come up with. So this has been Doc, signing off.